Well, hello everyone. It is Sunday Night Live here on Material Issues. This is episode number 225. Holy cow. What a beautiful fall day it was here in South Jersey. I'm Mark Hershberger of Pop Detective Records. Joining me as always, my good friend from the left coast in sunny Southern California, the president of the International Pop Overthrow Music Festival, Mr. David Bash. David, nice shirt, nice bling. I'm representing Dr. Shroud tonight, the online.
What do you have? Wait, what do you have there?
It's a Dr. Shroud T-shirt. That was the animated cartoon that did well in the Asian countries.
Oh,
I did all the voiceover.
I'm unfamiliar, but I guess I'm familiar now.
Yeah, I was Dr. Shroud for about 15 episodes. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, very cool. How you doing? Nice. How you doing?
Doing fine, thank you. This morning we can give the big reveal. Earlier today we did a pre-recorded episode and our guest was the great Peter Daltrey of the band Kaleidoscope, and also they were the really great 60s psychedelic pop band who had a couple. Two albums under that name, one under the name Fairfield Parlor. And since that time, he's been recording lots of solo albums, including the latest one, which is coming out at the end of November, The Life and Times of Blue Larry and the Huguenot Kid on Think Like a Key Records. Roger Uday is the proprietor of Think Like a Key. He was a guest of ours a couple of years ago, I guess, or maybe even less, maybe a year and a half ago, I think it was. Anyway, the show went really well.
What a great interview! That's
really great interview. He certainly had his memory for detail was really sharp, also. So,
super nice guy, super talented guy, and the new album is fantastic. So,
and we'll be airing that on November 9th. So at our usual Material Issues time of Sunday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, etc. So we'll be airing that one as we did a couple of weeks ago with our first pre-recorded episode. So just look out for that. IPO coming up on the East Coast.
Hey,
Greetings, Tim. Good to see you as always. IPO coming up on the East Coast. We've got New York from November 6th through 9th at the Parkside Lounge. We're glad to be back. On following weekend or week/weekend, 12th through 15th of November in Boston at the Square Root, and then the following weekend, November 21st through 23rd in the great city of Toronto, whose baseball team is representing in the World Series right now.
Yeah, it's a heck of a
Toronto
series.
Blue Jays, and we will be back at the Painted Lady. So, want to thank all those venues for having us. I can't wait to go, especially since last year, due to my back issues, I actually missed Boston and Toronto. I certainly don't intend to miss them this year, though. So
it's a little funny, just as an aside, as we've been doing this show now for 4+ years.
Yep.
The older we get, the more we have to mention our latest physical maladies.
Oh yeah, well, and I will, full disclosure, I just got off of some anti-anxiety medication.
Yeah.
Hey Carrie, and it's been a bit of a struggle. I may very well have to go back on. I'm hoping not, but if I do, I do. It's just one of those things. There shouldn't be any stigma about needing medication for anything, really.
No,
I mean,
not at all.
And
I got
emotions. Your emotional state is very much driven by the chemical, chemical nature of your brain, and so.
Indeed.
So your brain, just like your heart and any other, are organs in your body, and they sometimes they need a little help. So anyway, we'll see what happens with that. But right now I'm feeling pretty good. Oh, I should should tell you about a watch I just got. And this one's kind of unusual, but very cool. It's a Chinese company, I think they're Chinese, called Julian Kingsley. And take a look at this.
Look at that.
Notice this very, very interesting sort of sideways triangle design. Now,
Very Jetson.
This didn't just come randomly. This is an homage to a watch that came out in the late 50s by the company Hamilton, and it was the first electric watch. Electric at that time meaning a first battery-powered watch, and it was called the Ventura, and none other than Elvis Presley fell in love with it. And it's interesting because back then people only had one watch. Elvis Presley had an Omega, so rather than just buy the Hamilton Ventura, he traded in his Omega for it. It's not like he needed the money, but it's like, well, I can't have two watches, so I'm going to trade this one in. And of course, they were Elvis Presley, so they said, "Sure, Mr. Presley, you can have it." They probably would have given it to him, but he probably wouldn't have taken it. Anyway, he fell in love with it and ended up buying the watch for a bunch of his buddies. And there are photos of him wearing it. Anyway, Hamilton themselves have come out with all kinds of variations. Recently, they've reissued all kinds of variations of the Ventura, but they're very expensive. However, this was not very expensive. It's a very cool skeleton design. And also, it's a very unique watch in that you can see that some of the gradations are highlighted, but it's not the usual 12, 3, 6, 9. In order to read this watch correctly, you got to read that as 1, 5, and 9. So the 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock positions are not major, but 1, 5, and 9 are.
Yeah.
Anyway, I really love this. I think it's so cool, and it's bigger than I thought. That's what she said. It wears very well.
I've just
very inexpensive.
With a lot of like interesting watches like that, many times they are in like the 38 millimeter size, and it's a little too small. Yeah. So I just don't like it that way. But
I'm guessing that this one's probably comes in around 43, although it doesn't state that. But when I looked at the photos, like, no, this thing's, I think they said it was like 38. I said, no, this thing's bigger than that. No way it's at 38. Anyway, I've worn it quite a bit since I've gotten it. It's been a lot of fun. But
last night I through the kidney pain, I emceed the One Love Animal Rescue event up in Browns Mills, New Jersey, Central Jersey. And it was a 4-hour event, completely sold out. They raised a ton of money. It's my 4th year in a row emceeing the event. Yeah. And they gave me this really cool hoodie last night. Yeah. It's a paw print with a microphone in the middle. It says, "I give a voice for rescue animals." Aww. And I thought that was very nice. So
that was very nice of them.
You're looking at
nice of you to take part in that.
Yeah, if you're looking at rescuing, fostering, adopting, One Love Animal Rescue, that's the way to go in New Jersey. But yeah, it's cool.
Very cool. But all right, on to our guest. I have definitely fostered and been loving this really great album called Only Fools Love Again. And it's by our guest, and he has been best known as bass player of the really, really hot young pop band, the Lemon Twigs. They're the band that I would say has been anointed as the band who's going to continue to take our pop music world into the future. Most of the bands who are doing power pop or melodic pop are, older. And Lemon Twigs are young men. The main songwriters being the D'Addario brothers, and they're the ones who have gotten most of the press. But this gentleman has shown that he's a great singer-songwriter in his own right, as this album would attest, because it's like 10 really beautiful pop songs. And I have to say, the record itself, or the album itself, really well made, great gatefold with all the lyrics. And also, for those of you who also would like to play the album in their car or on their computer or whatever, it's got a download card. So you can download the digital files and, make a CD out of them, or, again, just put them on your put them wherever you want, and you can play them out apart from your turntable. So that's a very, very nice touch. I wish all bands would do that. And
Yeah.
I have bought a few albums that that was much more popular maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe during COVID, I saw that a lot, but for some reason, it seems to have fallen out of favor. I don't know why, but thankfully, our guest has done that. So.
One of the most amazing packages I've ever seen is the Mad. Remember the Mad that had the CD inside the gatefold vinyl?
Yeah, the Mad being another great pop band from Amsterdam on the Excelsior label, but that's for another time.
It is.
For this time, we should bring on our guest, fresh from a Lemon Twig show.
Oh, nice.
And back home and ready to rock with us. Would you please give a huge Material Issues welcome to Mr. Danny Ayala?
And there he is.
Hello. Hey.
Hello, Danny.
Nice.
How's it going? Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
We're very happy to have you. And, Mark and I have been talking about this. We're just incredibly impressed with this record. It's I'll say right now, it's more than likely going to be in my top 10 of the year. And if you knew how many, that may not sound like much, but if you knew how much I hear every year, to make my top 10, you got to be good.
Well, that's much appreciated. And also thank you for mentioning some of the intricacies of the physical copy of the record. Jeremy and I from Reminder Records took a long time to make sure that was right, because that's an important part of it.
And it's good that somebody, and I'm always going to refer to you as someone so young, because, you're a lot younger than us, and you guys are a lot younger than most bands who are doing melodic pop music these days. But most people your age, they don't really care about physical product. They're happy to have it on a streaming service. Maybe they'll pay to download it. But as far as like having an LP, a vinyl, or a CD, it doesn't matter to them. But then there are a lot of people out there who feel differently, especially we in the pop community. We love physical products. So I'm really glad that you didn't say, it's enough to have a download. I'm glad that you went all out and put out this record the way it should be put out.
Yeah, thanks. It's always good to have a tangible copy, because even if the world is in a crazy place, it'll be forever.
Well put. Yeah,
absolutely. I was reading an article today about somebody who was lamenting the days gone by when you went to the record store, you spent your hard-earned $4.75 and got that LP, and you carefully carried it home. And when you got it home, you carefully opened up the plastic, not to bend the edges, and you treasured that big piece of artwork. And it was that tangible physical thing that you now owned, and it was yours.
I'll guess that your parents are probably around the age where that happened, and for them as it did for us. Was do your parents, or your dad, or maybe both of them, did they have stories about going out buying records? What it was like back then?
Well, my whole life I've lived with my grandparents.
Oh, I see.
And so yes, my grandfather has quite a big record collection. He's of Haitian descent, and there's a lot of Haitian and Caribbean music in that. But I could say yes, he has a very established record collection. But it really transfers down from my grandfather, and also Ronnie D'Addario, who's the father of the brothers, because all of us still to this day go record shopping in every city that we get to on tour. And it's kind of like having any other kind of hobby, like trading cards or baseball cards. You just go in there and you hope for the best. You hope to find a gem.
Yeah, indeed, and again, it's that tangible piece of something that's yours, and it's so funny. You can tell so much about a person. You might meet somebody new, a new friend, and they said, "Yeah, I collect record from their record collection." You just start perusing what they got, and you're like, "Oh, oh, okay, I see what you're about. This didn't seem like you. It's very cool." There's people that flip through my record collection. They're like, "What? Okay."
Yeah.
Now I've known Ronnie actually for quite a while. As you know, back in the I think it was around 1990. He and his band had a band called the Rock Club, and they put out a record.
Right.
And
Yes.
I found out about it. I don't remember how, but I was able to get his phone number, probably through some stalking, because I do that, you know. And I gave Ronnie a call and said, "I love your record. I just want you to know that." And you know, we had a really nice conversation, and then the years go by, and I find out about. I find that he's got it. You know, he's still recording. He's gotten, you know, and he's reissuing his old stuff. And I invited him to play International Pop Overthrow in New York, and he accepted. And his backing band at that time, at the very least, I know that his two sons, this is before Lemon Twigs formed, played with him on that bill. Were you part of that band too?
Yeah, I was. We played a couple of shows backing him and his songs. There was another one, I believe, at Bowery Electric. And I think those are some of his last full set performances, I believe. But I'm sure, you know, maybe we'll get a few more if we're lucky.
I hope so, because he's is he recording new stuff too?
I believe he has something coming out on Record Store Day this coming November.
Oh, wow.
I think they announced it a few weeks ago.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Outstanding. So you're saying you grew up your whole life on Long Island. You're raised by your grandparents. I did see in a bio somewhere that you're classically trained. You took quite a number of years of classic piano. And,
I was forced into classical piano at like the age of like 6 by my grandmother. And then I started playing the elementary school talent shows. And it was by like the 3rd grade where like we realized like I would always go up and play my classical songs, and then the last act would be Brian and Michael doing this rock show. And by the 4th grade, they were just like, "Why don't you just play with us?"
Wow, this is really early. Holy cow!
Oh, that goes back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I was about maybe 8 or 9 years old when I started playing with the brothers.
Wow.
And at that time, it was called the Members of the Press. And eventually that would twist and turn and until the band we have today.
I thought
were they at that? Now you said that your granddad was, you know, he had a bunch of Haitian and calypso music in his collection. Was it the brothers that turned you on to pop music, or were you already familiar?
Definitely the brothers, and Ronnie D'Addario can take credit for me knowing anything about pop and pop rock and roll. And my mother, when I was a kid, introduced me to, you know, some more contemporary bands like the Backstreet Boys and My Chemical Romance, and you know. And which is, you know, I still love to this day, but it was really Brian and Michael and their dad was my first introduction to The Who and the Rolling Stones, and even the Beatles. Like, I didn't really know until I was like 11 or 12.
Wow.
But yeah, definitely have them to thank for any pop rock in my life.
So you came to the Beatles much later. You weren't part of the whole hype machine that surrounded them in 1964 or for many years after. Do you see the Beatles? Do you see why the Beatles are considered the best, or do you think that it's somebody else? I mean, no,
I absolutely see why the Beatles are considered the best. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Okay. I love quite a bit of their songs.
Well, it's amazing because, you know, this is episode 225, and of those 225, we've probably had about 190 guests on the show. There are times we don't have. Many of them are, you know, from bands through the 60s and into the early 70s, and we always ask them about what was the mind-blowing moment that made you want to play the guitar or play the piano or get into a band. And 98% of them, David, it's like, oh, Beatles on Ed Sullivan. The Beatles changed everything. And
if they're American, the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. If they're from the UK, the Beatles on everything else.
Everything else. It's amazing how pervasive that is through everything. And now we come to, a younger artist like yourself, and to say, yeah, I can see where the Beatles, and it's just, it's all real. And the Beatles have just been the gold standard for everything around them and the future after that.
And again, we're still amazed talking to you because virtually everybody your age loves hip hop and pop music, rock and roll. It's probably as foreign to them as things like I don't know, things like, let's say, calypso music were to me when I was growing up, because I just wasn't hearing it.
Mm-hmm.
And here you are, loving what you do, and it's great. When you were when you were playing those talent shows in school, what instrument were you playing at that time?
I was playing piano, and I was just playing, your most standard classical songs, Beethoven and Chopin,
so yeah, of course.
Yeah. And then I just saw, I kept seeing this rock band play after me every time, and yeah, eventually I just kind of joined their band, and little by little was introduced to all these great bands, and it was kind of interesting because Brian and Michael were just especially such amazing musicians already, so it was kind of like my teachers always, I went to music school. Really quick antidote, my teachers always used to tell me, like, when you're in a band, make sure you're the worst musician in the room, this way you get better. And I'm very, very fortunate to have started off that way. Literally started off with, just such amazing, talented musicians like Brian and Michael. They were just so miles ahead of even adults at the age of 9, at the age of 10, and
wow,
it was incredible. So I'm very, very lucky to have them.
And when did you learn? Friends. When did you learn to play bass?
I learned to play bass like 3 years ago or 4 years ago. I don't know exactly what I learned besides just like self-teaching myself these songs and like asking Brian and Michael for tips and tricks. I don't have any formal training, but I played piano my whole life, and I went to go play in a different band for a year or two called Sunflower Bean, and there it was like more of like an alternative, like grunge rock band, and sometimes the keyboards are fine, but sometimes it was really like that guitar, bass, drums kind of hard rock thing. So I kind of had to start learning how to play some guitar and bass to keep up with that. And then when I rejoined this band, and they said, well, we'd love you to have you on keys, but we also need a bass player, I knew that it was going to be quite an undertaking because Brian and Michael's bass parts are just so difficult. So it was basically a full year of me just really running the songs like over and over as a non-bass player and just trying to play catch up.
And when did you bass is the Hofner?
Sorry, go ahead, Mark. Say that again.
You play the Hofner bass most.
Yeah,
I keep seeing photos like this all the time.
Yeah, that's really funny. I started playing a precision bass at the very beginning, which honestly was good because it was like a full scale, nice wide neck, and it really broke me in. So then when I got to the Hofner, it was just like easy, like easier in a sense, because it's very thin and it's medium scale, yeah, it was just very easy to get a hold of that afterwards.
Yeah.
When did you start? When did you decide you wanted to be a songwriter, and when did you start writing songs?
Well, I guess a long time ago, right as the Lemon Twigs were starting, they released an album just on like cassette tape, and this was before even their first debut album, proper debut album, and even then it was just like this introduction to like never even heard of GarageBand or Logic or any of those digital recording softwares, or DAWs, if you will. And just like watching them putting something together that was of what we were listening to at the time. Like we were listening to bands like Of Montreal and MGMT and Tame Impala's first few records and some Red Hot Chili Peppers. And at that time, I was like, wow, like they're just listening to all that and then making their own stuff. And it was just like amazing to see that whole thing. And then I was just like, I want to do that too. And about 2 years later, I put out an EP called Lay It On Me Straight. And I released it just on a little cassette and also streaming, even though streaming wasn't quite huge just yet. So I made my own kind of EP and put it out, and again it was just taking inspiration from the brothers.
Well, yeah, what a place to learn from and take inspiration from. I mean, there's a lot of similarities, obviously, because you're influenced by the brothers. The register that you sing in, you all have the penchant for the higher register. Which is
a pop register.
It's a pop register.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And the harmonies are fantastic, and you've learned well. I mean, it's got to be a little intimidating, when they come in with their songs, and you're just like, oh, geez, how good is this stuff? I got to catch up.
Yeah. Well, I was just talking to them about this, and just kind of getting their take on it, but like. Back in the day, there was so much of this pop rock and this melodic rock, and you would have these bands that were kind of almost competing with each other. You hear Brian Wilson talking about Rubber Soul and like just really trying to beat that. And so we're just sitting here like there's not that many bands who are doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so like I'm sure the brothers kind of look to each other as that like very friendly competition. And I look to them, and we look to our drummer, Reza Mateen, who has a great band called the Uni Boys.
Oh,
and so we're all kind of just like putting out records and, taking inspiration from each other. And there's that kind of friendly competition, but also just that strive to be the best you can be that we don't get a lot of these days. We don't have... Right. The Beatles on our tail making an album every other year.
No.
As you know, the radio is not what it was. So the record business is not what it was. And David and I talk about this all the time. We run into people who tell us there's just no good music being made anymore. And we shake our heads and go, no, you're just not looking at where it is. And you got to do a little work to find it. But there is fantastic music being made. For example, from yourself, from the Lemon Twigs, and when you play that to people who appreciate that kind of stuff, their minds are blown. But it's just
all you guys and a bunch of other old people. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's tough because you're not the Taylor Swift that is being force fed, to everybody via every social media site and every radio station and whatnot, and you got to find other ways of getting it out there and spreading the word. So we're glad to keep doing it. We're glad that there's young people putting out quality pop music. It's really good.
There's a ton of great bands out there putting out records. Another one, Tchotchke. They just put out a record not too long ago, and there's this other band that I've been getting into. I believe they're from Detroit. They're called Mod Lang.
Yes.
And they're on, I believe, Just Add Water records, and they're going to be putting out another record soon. And they're friends of ours, and we like them quite a bit.
Yeah.
And of course, Uni Boys from our drummer's band.
How does he work that out? Because isn't the rest of the band based out here in LA?
Yeah, well, the three of us, me, Brian, and Michael, are from New York.
Yeah.
And essentially every time we have a tour or we're recording or whatever, we have to fly Reza out. Reza comes on over, and we usually make it worth it somehow.
Right.
Like whether it be, on this next record, Reza and I played on a couple of the songs, or even me, like I come out from Long Island to their studio in Brooklyn, and if I come for a rehearsal, I'll do some backing vocals, or I'll play bass on a song or something, So it's like at least a whole day.
Well, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot to it for doing what you do, and I mean, yeah, it's tough because you still got a life. You still gotta, make ends meet. You got to do your thing, and there's a lot involved. There's a lot of commitment. There's a lot of time. There's
Absolutely. When I'm not on tour, me and a friend of mine have a music school that we both co-own called the Nassau Suffolk Academy of Music.
Very nice.
We're based out of Long Island and primarily teach in-person lessons on Long Island, but we also do virtual students, and I've taught people from Portugal and from England and California, and so that's kind of what I do when I'm home. But managing that and this band and my solo project and family and social life, and it does get to be a lot.
Oh no, I'm sure it does. Oh, by the way, let me give you the name of a up and coming young band. You'll hear it here first. They're called the Candy Rocks, and they're based out of Maryland. Do you know them?
Well, that's funny that you bring them up and asked if I know them, because I just did a tour about 3 weeks ago. I was mentioning it to you, Mark, just not too long ago. I did a tour for my album, Only Fools Love Again, and my backing band is the Candy Rocks.
Of course it is. I did not mean to insult you by suggesting you never heard of them.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
That's really funny. Well, yeah.
They're going to be playing IPO New York, and I cannot wait to see them play because the songs I've heard that they do are just unbelievable.
You're in for a treat. They have incredible harmonies. We had them open one of our shows here with the Lemon Twigs, and we were just blown away by their harmonies and how talented they are and their songwriting. So that is yet another up and coming band that I highly recommend to everybody who's watching. And if you ever happen to catch my show, anytime that we're playing next year, you'll see them.
Excellent. That's good to know. So the title Only Fools Love Again, what inspired that?
Well, it's really how do I say, like, is probably not really a saying, but metaphorically personal or metaphorically literal, where it's just like a story of my own life, not to get too involved with that, and past relationships and current relationships, and me just kind of putting that into a story that everybody can relate to, which is, a tendency of a lot of melodic rock and a lot of melodic pop, of this never-ending story of love and when a man meets a woman and all that. And so, although the lyrics are very personal, I also strived to make everyone feel comfortable listening to it and hearing, a story about before love and after love and during love and past, present, future,
And okay. Only fools love again. Yeah, I mean, that title rang true for me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get fooled again.
Yeah.
I think we're all fools in that respect, that no matter what we go through, no matter how many times we get hurt and we say to ourselves, I'm not doing this love thing anymore. Forget it. And, I don't want to go through that again. But ultimately we always do. And fortunately, yes. Fortunately, sometimes you end up realizing that, I made the right decision this time. And I'm not a fool, but it's certainly an emotion that we all go through.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I want to play some tracks from it. And I just realized now, as I look, that I can't necessarily tell which one of these is which. I thought I had this filed. I thought I had this done right. But I want to play the opening track first, because I always feel like there's a reason that an artist picks a track to open their album. And, you know, back in the day, as I'm sure I don't have to tell you, it was of paramount importance to do that, because when radio stations would get records, you know, invariably they play the first track, and they better be immediately hooked if you wanted them to play the rest of the album, or for that matter, even that track. So most bands made the first track a single, you know, probably their first single even. So why did you choose I Was Wrong as the first track?
Well, I released 4 singles for this record and 4 videos, and if I had to release a 5th single, if that was a proper thing to do, it would have been this song. So I figured, kind of like you were saying, first on the record is kind of gives it as much of a shot as a single.
Yeah, very much so. It's
this is a
great opening track. Yeah, let's hear it.
As I look here, this is a 50-50 shot, so let's hope we get it right. I Was Wrong by Danny Ayala from his brand new album, Only Fools Love Again, here on Material Issues. No, I didn't get it right, did I?
Oh.
All right. Let's try this again.
Hey, this
I
is
Was Wrong by
this
Danny Ayala. Only Fools Love Again is the album, and here's the track on Material Issues.
Reminder Records.
There he is. We lost you for a second. But
yeah, sorry.
Well, I'll tell you what a hooky track that is. An amazing chorus. You know, And this is, of course, a very, very much of a compliment coming from me, but it reminds me a lot of the Archies, for example.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've actually gotten that before.
Okay, good. I'm not
I guess,
praising
yeah. Also, when I was writing this track, I was listening to the Private Eyes record, Hall & Oates.
Oh yeah.
I get that. Yeah, I hear that. Yeah.
Speaking of Hall & Oates, because this gentleman that I'm about to talk about mentions them a lot on Facebook, Fernando Perdomo. Fernando
Yes.
Perdomo plays on your record. He's the gentleman that initially turned me on to you. I don't know if you know the movie Zelig. Have you ever seen it or heard of it?
No, I have not.
All right. Wow, something you don't know. All right. Well, it's a movie that came out in the early '80s, starring Woody Allen, who I imagine.
Okay.
And it's mainly just pictures. It's not even live action. But Zelig was a character that would show up in photos of all kinds of historical events through history, basically, through all of history. So, there might be like the signing of the Declaration of Independence, the photo of that, and suddenly you see him in there too. I call Fernando the Zelig of pop because if something happens in the history of pop, he's going to be there. You see him in everything. I've never seen anyone work so hard and be involved in so much. How did you get hooked up with Fernando?
Yeah.
Well, in 2016, the Lemon Twigs played a show at Amoeba Records, like an in-store. Oh. And he was there, and I think it was one of our first ever West Coast appearances. And I honestly from the get-go became friends with him right from the beginning, and he's just been a really good friend and a great supporter throughout the past almost 10 years of my life. Oh, wow. This is the second record that he's tracked and produced and played guitar on for me. The first being my second album that I released under the name Dr. Danny, called Power Moves. There's some great songs on there as well.
I need to find out about this stuff. I haven't heard any of it, so okay.
Yeah, I was definitely a bit younger at the time, but there's still a few tracks on there that I'm proud of. But yeah, he is just an incredible guitarist, and he just has such a vast knowledge of music in general. Anything that you say you want something to sound like, he knows just what to do. And so I really love working with him, and he will remain a very good friend.
Yeah, that's good to know. I mean, a lot of us owe him a great debt of gratitude. Let me play another track from the album, another one that really hit me, called "I Don't Like Her." What's the story? What's the story about that? Is it actually someone you don't like, or just a metaphor for something?
Well, this could also be the title track, even though it's not called that, because it kind of coincides with that same concept of only fools love again, and just kind of reliving past moments, and you feel like you can just never get out of the cons of love, but you keep going because there's prose to it, and it's just kind of that same theory.
Well,
if people are interested, I keep running these banners, but you can hook up with everything about you on Dr. Danny Music on Instagram. There's links to all the videos. There's links to buy it directly from you. I'm running that across the bottom, and reminderrecords.com. Get it there as well. All kinds of places. So, if you're digging Danny's stuff and want to get in touch and want to buy this wonderful gatefold album, you just watch it across the bottom.
And before I play the track, I guess I have to ask, where did the moniker Dr. Danny come from?
At the very beginning of me venturing out and doing my solo project, the manager at the time of the Twigs kind of gave me that name, and I kind of went with it until I grew out of it, and now I'm just kind of using my own name. But I only have my bachelor's degree. I'm by no means a doctor.
Hey, don't say only most musicians, didn't have the chance to go to college and get their degree. So never say
Yeah,
only
I
a
actually
congratulations.
deferred from music school twice to go on tour. And then the third time I went back and actually finished.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's always great. All right, so here we go. Track number 3 on the album Only Fools Love Again. I Don't Like Her by Danny Ayala here on Material Issues. Really catchy, as they say in that thing you do. It's something snappy, and there are a lot of ba ba ba's in that one. Were the Turtles at all an inspiration for this song?
The Turtles and the Zombies as well.
Okay,
those kind of dark harmonies. Yeah, definitely.
And
I read somewhere that you were a huge Odyssey and Oracle fan.
Yeah, that's got to be up there in my.
How can you not be
of all time? There's just no skips on the record.
No, and actually, not this particular year. Was it this year? No, it was the year before, I guess. No, it had to be this year because we were sorry, it is 2024 when we went back to Stockholm to do IPO, and along with the UK, I picked up original copies of stereo and mono copies of Odyssey and Oracle. Don't ask me what I paid. Too much.
That was my next question.
Yeah, no, a lot. But, I had to have them. And one of the places was a record shop. One of the places that I got the stereo one, I think. I think the mono one I got from eBay, but from a local dealer. So they were able to send it to me really quickly. The stereo one I got at Mickey's Records in Stockholm, which is a really great record shop. And you were talking about buying when you go on tour, buying records. Have you As far as Lemon Twigs have toured outside of the U.S., correct?
Yeah, we've done quite a bit of international touring in the past 10 years. And more recently, we've been to Japan and
Nice.
and did a long tour in Spain as well. Um, and yeah, we're very, very fortunate to do those kinds of things.
Have you made it to Stockholm or Copenhagen?
I don't think we've played either of those.
I hope you do at some point, not just because those are amazingly beautiful cities and you would go over well there, but both those cities have incredible record shops.
Yeah, I can
And
imagine.
I'll recommend, I mean, I talked about Mickey's Records, which is a really nice little place, and the owner is just the greatest guy ever. But if you do go to Stockholm, Nostalgie Palatset is the best record store I've ever been in. Anywhere. And I mean, I haven't been all around the world, I have to say, or all around the country. I've been to many, but that one is, when you guys go there, your eyes are going to bug out of your head. I guarantee you.
Okay.
You won't believe some of the stuff that you'll see there. I don't know how they do it, but my last trip there, which was in June, I picked up some of the rarest stuff. Yeah, aren't they?
Yeah.
Including the band The Ivies, who were the band Badfinger before they were Badfinger. They released their album only in 3 countries: Italy, Germany, and Japan. Even though it was on Apple Records, those were the only countries in which they came out, and it's incredibly rare. And in their rare box was a Japanese pressing of the album. I'd never seen it before.
Wow,
but that's the kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that they get. So definitely, if you keep. And I mean, if I find out you're going to stop,
yes, please.
I'll remind you anyway. But that's the place that you guys want to go to. And I noticed on the record that the D'Addario brothers do. They sing and play on the record. Obviously, they've been very supportive of your your solo endeavors. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 of the songs on the record, "Something with You" and "I Don't Like Her," were actually fully produced by the brothers, and they played the instruments that I didn't, bass and keys. And yeah, they've always been very supportive of the record, and always happy to have them where I can, because they're great musicians.
That's wonderful. And have you done shows, or are you doing shows currently in support of the record?
Yeah. Well, myself and Candy Rocks, who you mentioned before, we did 8 shows around the East Coast area, like New York, New Jersey. We did a Richmond show, a Baltimore show, etc. And we definitely plan on doing more shows next year. Definitely getting to the West Coast early next year as well.
Yeah, of course. Please do keep me apprised of that, as I will certainly come out. I'll certainly come out to see you. How are the reviews looking on the record right now?
I'm very fortunate that everyone has been very sweet about it. I've gotten a lot of great reviews, and I'm really pleased with the work that I've put in, and the work that Jeremy from Reminder Records has put in, and I think we did something pretty good.
All right, well, I'm glad you're confident in it, especially since I think deservedly so. It's a wonderful record. Let me play the final song on the album, because every one of the songs impressed me, but that's one in particular that has, and it's a great way to end the record. We'll play that, and then we'll kind of wind things up. Anyway, this is "Smile for Me." Tell us a little bit about that one.
Well, this song is pretty literal, as I mentioned before, where the song chorus goes like, "Smile for me, Marie," and Marie is actually my girlfriend in real life, and so it's a good ending to the record. And Only Fools Love Again, and here I am. I'm a fool, and let's see how this goes. We've been together for two and a half years. So yeah,
we hope
2.5 years is a good start.
That's a long time, because I hate to talk to you a year from now and say, oh yeah, it didn't work out. Now I can't listen to the last track of the album.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now I have a feeling this one's
It's a snapshot of your life in this time and place, and it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's play the final track, track number 10 on Only Fools Love Again by Danny Ayala here on Material Issues. And there you have it. Smile for Me, the final track, track number 10 on Only Fools Love Again. The brand new album by our guest on Material Issues, Danny Ayala. I have to ask about that fuzz sound. Are those synthesizers, or is that a bass or a guitar?
That's a guitar. Yeah, that is Fernando.
Of course, it's Fernando.
Okay, all right.
We don't hear a lot of that anymore on pop albums, and I noticed it on some of the other tracks as well. So I think it was a great idea.
Thanks. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, listening to that song again right here as you're playing it, and that drum beat. That's it harkens Bay City Rollers to me a little bit, and that's not a bad thing. I mean,
a great thing.
It would be lost on their dedication album, or right after Rock and Roll Love Letter, just that ding 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 ding.
Yeah.
And then the harmonies and the vocals, it's just really, really good pop.
Danny? Have you heard the Rollers album Elevator?
Yeah. See.
I have not. No, I'll definitely check that out now.
That's when they had gone by Bay City Rollers for many years,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden they had to get a new lead singer, so they got this guy from South Africa, Duncan Fare, and when he came in, they changed their sound. They turned it into a total power pop sound. So with
I'll definitely check that out.
change in lead singers, they decided to also drop the Bay City and just become Rollers. An album from 1979 called Elevator. Guaranteed that if you're a power pop fan, you would absolutely love this one. And you mentioned also Tame Impala. Have you heard Temples?
I have not. Is that their new record?
No, it's the name of a band that sounds a lot like Tame Impala. You really need to check them out. Especially their debut record. But you can find them on Spotify, I'm
Great.
sure.
I love it.
Temples,
I'm happy.
You will love Temples. I like them even more than Tame Impala.
Okay. I'm stoked. Thanks for the recommendations.
Oh, believe me, if you were here, I'd be I'd be turning you on to so much stuff. I don't know if you'd never want to leave or you'd get sick of it. But I'd be like going, "Oh, you need to hear this." But I mean, when people did that for me when I was younger, I always appreciated it. I mean, the more the merrier. Anyway, are you? I know you just put out this record, but have you written some new songs for an upcoming record someday?
Yeah, I have a few new songs, and I'm going right after this tour. I'm going to really concentrate and try to make another record and get in the studio in February.
Wonderful. Listen, it was absolutely great having you on the show.
Thank you.
And hopefully people do pick up this record, Only Fools Love Again, on Reminder Records. It's you've heard 3 songs from it. It's absolutely wonderful. And we certainly wish you the best with continued success with this record, some more great reviews, some more great shows. I certainly look forward to seeing you play when you come out to LA. Hopefully it'll be earlier enough in the year so that I won't be on the road somewhere else. I'm home starting at the end of November. I'm home through mid-April. So hopefully you'll be out here before that.
Yeah, I think it will be before April.
Oh, wonderful. Well, in that case, I'll certainly be there. And again, thank you so much. Great record. Again, hopefully people go out and pick this up. You can find it. I know besides the Reminder Records site, it's available on. Thank you, Tim. It's available on most of the your usual platforms like Amazon, right?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay.
And
good.
the Dr. Danny Music Instagram. Follow Danny on Instagram, and there's links under his bio that take you to the videos on YouTube. Take you to buying it direct from him and places like that. So that's the key right there. Dr. Danny Music on Instagram.
And if for whatever reason you find yourself free and you can come to the Candy Rock show at the Parkside Lounge for International Pop Overthrow, that'd be great. I would love to meet you there.
Yeah, awesome. Absolutely. Yeah, it's always great to see them.
Okay. Danny, best wishes with the album. Best wishes with the tour. Next time you're in South Jersey, I will definitely be there. And
yes, I will let you know.
That'd be fantastic.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being on. It was an absolute pleasure.
Have a great night. Be good.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yes, that was Danny Ayala, bass player of Lemon Twigs, but also singer-songwriter extraordinaire with a brand new record, Only Fools Love Again. And here it is. I'll hold it up again for everyone. And, this is not just your garden variety record cover. It's really nice, well made, and on great stock with again, gatefold with photos and the lyrics. So, and also a download card. So some value added if you pick this up. I should also point out, I love the inner sleeve. It's one of those, expensive inner sleeves that people put their rarest records in. So yeah, they went all Danny and Jeremy and Reminder went all out on this one. So definitely worthy of everybody's support. So please do go pick that up.
I hope you do.
All right, so we have lots more in store. And speaking of great records, another one that is probably destined for my top 10 is one that just came out on Gem Records, Marty Scott and Company. The High Frequencies, self-titled, and two of our old friends. Well, right now, Kerry, it's not on CD. But if you're talking about Danny's record, but it is on vinyl, and if you buy the vinyl, there is a download card, so you can make your own CD. And we're going to see if we can get it out on CD. But until then, definitely support the vinyl. It's worth it. All right. Anyway, so High Frequencies. The main people of this band: Lisa Michaels and Tom Richards. Lisa being somebody who's put out great pop records since the 90s. In fact, 1990, her Lost Winter's Dream came out on cassette, and it's like Half Christmas, and an all-girl group sounding record. It's just wonderful. And since then, of course, she's put out lots of great solo records and had bands like New Shoe. This is one that she's doing with her husband, Tom Richards, who is the main man of the Waking Hours, a great band from Virginia who came out to LA, moved out here, made a lot of hay, played on bills with all kinds of amazing bands, and put out some great records. So this is Tom and Lisa. Oh, and Ricky Tubb, guitarist of Waking Hours, is also in this band. Anyway, just amazing, soulful power pop all the way. You really need to check it out. I was so impressed. I'm not surprised that I was that impressed, because I've known what both Tom and Lisa have been able to do over the years. And out now on Gem Records, the High Frequencies. They will be our guests next weekend, next Sunday, November 2nd.
November 2nd. Wow.
November 9th will be our guest. Our guest will be the gentleman whose show we recorded this earlier today, Peter Daltrey of the great 60s psychedelic pop band Kaleidoscope, but also still going strong and with a great new record on Think Like a Key Records, The Life and Times of Blue Larry and the Huguenot Kid. That's a mouthful.
Huguenot.
I did it again. Yeah.
Said Huguenot originally too, but remember he corrected us a number of times by saying, the Huguenots.
Yeah, of course. Of course, the French ancestry. So
what a great interview that was today. It's fun to see on November 9th.
Amazing gentleman, still going strong. So check that out. On November 16th, we have the main man of one of the best power pop bands ever to come out of Australia, in my opinion, Ice Cream Hands. His name is Charles Jenkins, and Ice Cream Hands have a record coming out next month called Giant Fox Pineapple Tree. And as I mentioned earlier, Ice Cream Hands is to me is a great combination of sound of Teenage Fan Club and the Pernice Brothers.
Yeah.
So it's very gentle, but also rocks. And Charles has a wonderful voice and writes amazing pop songs. So definitely check out this record. It'll be out on both vinyl and CD. I guess it's their own label. Anyway, really, really great stuff. And we will have him on November 16th. Which will be November 17th in Australia, but November 16th for everyone.
We'll get the lottery numbers from them. That'd be good.
And then November 23rd, take it away, Mark.
November 23rd, we've got somebody that I became familiar with through my association with Frank Sesich and the Deadbeat Poets. Of course, Frank was in Stiv Bader's band, Latter Day Dead Boys, and Frank was around for the whole punk movement. Teresa Kariakis, a fantastic photographer, and she was around in that time, took tons of, well, we overuse the word iconic, but there are tons of iconic, well-known photographs of the punk years, a lot of Stiv Bators and the Dead Boys, but she has photos of Blondie, the Ramones, Joan Jett, Go-Go's, Billy Idol, Iggy Pop, all at the height of their punk time. And she has a lot of exhibits, photo exhibits in galleries that she travels all around the country. It's kind of nonstop. It's called Punk Turns 30. And I think she's coming out with a book series in the relative near future. But it's going to be an interesting interview with somebody who was there up close and personal with all these punk luminaries and in early power pop bands and taking great photos. So Teresa Kariakis on November 23rd, right here on Material Issues.
Wonderful. I look forward to that. As I was unfamiliar until you told me about her, so it'll be a great learning experience for me. Yeah. On November 30th, and Danny mentioned how Lemon Twigs had toured Spain. Spain, of course, is probably the one country outside of the U.S. that loves power pop the most. Well, Japan too, but Spain really supports it, and a lot of power pop acts go over there to play. And some of them have even moved there because the scene is so strong. Anyway, our guest is the guitarist of a band who is right now in the midst of a Spanish tour, and that would be the Rubinoos. And our guest will be guitarist Al Chan, who's a great guy. I've known him for a long, long time. Always fun, always upbeat, and maybe the Rubinoos have some new music. I really hope so. Because they're still as good as ever. And I remember when the Rubinoos played IPO, or way back in the day, I was able to go to their sound check, and man, are they perfectionists. Oh my God. They made sure they had everything down to the note. And it certainly showed when they did their performance, because just everything is perfect. I'm sure they're still that way. I mean, knowing those guys, I think it's incredibly important for them. So at any rate, I hope their tour continues to go well. On November 30th, Al will be back home in the Bay Area, and we will be very glad to have him as our guest. And on December 7th, I believe it'll be the 7th. That's what it's looking like. It'll be another pre-recorded show for us. And our guests will be Glenn Page and Stephen Huggins of the great Medway band, mod pop band, the Len Price 3, who have a brand new record out on the great Wicked Cool Misty Medway Magic. Yeah. Talk about alliteration. And Len Price 3 are one of the best live bands that I've ever seen. We have I have a great story about that. Rena was the one who actually was the main subject of this story, but I was in the other. This is when they were doing IPO at the Cavern. They were playing on the front stage. I happened to be in the other room at the time, looking after the band playing on that stage, and there was a manager of another mod band who had just played, and he was there witnessing Len Price 3, and he is from Glasgow. I wish I could do a good Glaswegian accent, but basically he was watching Len Price 3, and and his band again had just played, but he was so I guess overwhelmed and frustrated by how good Len Price 3 was. He said, I got to go home and cry. These are too good. And boy, were they ever too good, and they still are. And just really in your face, short, amazing. And for a 3-piece, they really get everything out of it. An amazing band, another great new record. The Len Price 3 Misty Medway Magic out on Wicked Cool. They will be our guests.
Oh, we've had a busy day, Tim. And wait, ninth, the Peter Daltrey. You're going to love the Peter Daltrey episode that we recorded today. Really
good. And so Glenn and Steve from Len Price 3 on December 7th. It will be another pre-recorded episode. That's what we have to do now that we have this Sunday time. it equates to either midnight or 1 a.m. in the UK, and so they're not awake. So we accommodate them by recording it at a more favorable time for them. So we've got a lot going on, don't we?
A lot going on. Yeah, we're all the way into we're into December now, and we're talking about possibly doing a special one-off show in the next week or two, where might be on a Tuesday night or a Thursday night or something, and we'll announce it, where we're just playing new music and maybe some Stump the Bash and not talking to anybody and just playing.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, we don't have any open dates. We've just gotten. I mean, I remember a couple of months ago we were wondering, like, who are our next guests going to be? I mean, we always knew we would find them, but we didn't know who they would be, and we were thinking, well, maybe we'll have a few shows in a row where it's just the two of us. And then suddenly this whole wave of guest opportunities came by, and now, when you combine it with our doing pre-recordings and being able to put those in as well, we've just got a huge docket of great guests coming up. So we really look forward to that.
And, this was episode number 225. All the episodes are all archived at materialissues.com. It's running across the bottom right now. So if you haven't gone over there, that takes you right to the YouTube page, and subscribe. Please hit the subscribe button. Please share the page to all your friends. And we'd love them to be a part of this whole ride that we're taking, because we've had amazing guests. Over 225 episodes. Is over 4 years we've been doing this.
Crazy.
I can't believe but you got to check it out if you're not familiar with all the past episodes, even episode number 95. if you're so
inclined to see something very different, let's put it this way: she wasn't a musical guest, but
but we're not telling you anymore, because you got to go check it out in the archives. Materialissues.com. Great
Absolutely.
stuff.
Anyway, without further, well, actually, it will be a do, because we're going to say goodnight to everyone, or good afternoon, or wherever you are. Everyone have a great rest of your Sunday, and a great week. And you will see us, if not before, you will see us next Sunday, November 2nd, with with Lisa and Tom from the High Frequencies. So anyway, until then, take care, be good, and there goes my phone, and I'm turning.
Love Serena. Good night, everybody.
Love for Ches and Audie. Good night.